Hello everybody and welcome to That's Football. I'm Mark Goldbridge. Chelsea beat Fulham 1-0, but I tell you what, can you handle this? I don't think you can handle this. I'm not talking about Chelsea's result here. The win across 90 minutes is justified, I believe, having watched the game. But what I want to talk about is VAR, because if we don't, they get away with it again. Fulham have been completely and utterly robbed there. It's a bloody disgrace. What is it we can do as football fans? Probably nothing. But should we ignore it? Should we ignore it? I see more and more people going, oh, well, what can you do? I'm not surprised. You have to do something. You have to scream and shout about it. Because I sense that if we don't, nobody will. They won't talk about it. They just sweep it under the carpet like they do every week. It's disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting. Basuma for Spurs, Curtis Jones for Liverpool, and Gusto himself for Chelsea have all been sent off for exactly the same type of tackle. Some of them a little bit worse, some of them nowhere near as bad. And Anthony Taylor's looking straight at it and goes, yellow card. And VAR looks at it and goes, he's right. On what planet are you living? Like, I'm going to stop looking at it because every time it irritates me, and I don't support Fulham and I don't support Chelsea. I'm just watching a game of football, despairing at the inconsistency. We have got such a good league. It's so competitive. It's getting better and better by the year, it seems. And yet we're being damaged by officiating who it's almost like they want to be. Forget Cole Palmer's penalty. Forget Sterling winning the tackle. Forget the great save from Leno from Madueke. We want to be spoken about on Match of the Day tonight. We want to be the talking point. Is this deliberate? Is that what we've got here? Egotistical officials who actually enjoy being spoken about, knowing that they'll get away with it, knowing that if you knew you could get away with something that's incompetent, but it would allow you to be spoken about, if you've got an ego, you're going to love it. Is that what we've got here? Egotistical officials who do it on purpose, knowing that they'll be spoken about. It's disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting. And again, if I was Howard Webb, I'd be sending Anthony Taylor to the Championship. That's just, I want to talk about VAR, but the referee on the pitch to not see that and not know that that's a red card is abysmal. If I was putting that tackle by Gusto in 100% red card, 50-50, unlucky, I'm way up at 95%. I mean, it's nailed on red. There's no, I can't even see what the mitigating circumstances are. I can't even see what the doubt is. Loses control of the ball, recklessly goes in, studs her up, goes through, catches the player on the ankle. I don't justifiably see what's not a red card there. I don't see what Taylor is even thinking about. And he's quick to get the yellow card out as well. Doesn't give himself any time. Straight away, you can see Willian in agony rolling around. Very quick to get the yellow card out. Doesn't even assume or think that maybe there could be a red card here. But VAR is where I'm going to jump in now. The technology is there. The technology is 100% there to look at it on a freeze frame or in real time or whatever and go, you might want to have a look at this. In fact, you need to have a look at this because we've given red cards for this before. So there is, I mean, if you're a Fulham fan, you've got to be fuming about that. If you're a Chelsea fan, it's not your fault. You've got to be very happy about that because it's 0-0 at that point. You're 0-0 and you're down to 10 men. That's what should have happened. The whole course of the game changes if that is given. But my big bugbear as well is that it's the damage it's doing to the league. Liverpool have got every right to say, we're top of the league at the moment, but if Man City start motoring, that 3 points against Tottenham that we could have had, well, one, it was an onside goal, and two, well, Curtis Jones shouldn't have got a red then, because if Gusto's not a red, that's not a red. And Spurs have got the same thing they can say about Basuma, and there's a load of other clubs as well. What is going on in the Premier League? What is going on with our officiating? Are we actually living in a world now where it's pure and utter incompetence? Or are we actually living in a world now where they're changing protocols halfway through a season? Because I'd love to know what the justification is here. Dermot Gallagher on Monday morning, he can't come out and go, well, at the end of the day, he's assuming that Willian has got a bionic ankle and it's not going to hurt him. And I think for that reason, Willian is well known for having really strong ankles. And although it's hurt him, he's never going to break it. So let's give Gusto would break, and it's not a red card. End of the day. But there has to be red card, red card, red card across the board. Everybody's got to give that as a red card. So what are the PGMOL saying here? Are they going to admit that VAR is fucking useless again? Or are they going to say, well, actually, we don't think... get in the comments. How do they justify that not being a red? Anthony Taylor should have given it. But also, the biggest thing is, why is VAR not saying that's a red card? What is the justification? I don't see any justification at all, unless they've had a chat over Christmas and said, we don't want to give red cards for reckless studs up tackles anymore. In which case, you've just completely and utterly undermined the integrity of the league, because Curtis Jones, Bissouma, Gusto, everyone else who's had a red card for tackles like that should have them rescinded. Should they get the points back? I mean, it's incompetence. It's so frustrating because it has such an impact on the league, and it has such an impact on the teams that get screwed over by these decisions. Last night, Luton Burnley, that's a foul on the goalkeeper. Whether you think it's soft or not, that's a foul on the goalkeeper. We've seen them given for years. That is a foul on the goalkeeper. Why are VAR reinventing rules in halfway through a season? So the Gusto one's not a red card anymore, but it will be next week. It might be this afternoon, but it's not today. And you can shoulder barge a goalkeeper now, but not next week, but you can today. It's incredible. It's absolutely incredible, the incompetence that we're living through. And as I said, I don't know whether you can handle it. I don't know whether you can handle it, because Chelsea fans will be going, well, we won the game. But I'm not bothered about that. Chelsea should have won the game based on the game we watched. But the game we watched shouldn't have been the game we watched if we're going to have competent and consistent officiating. It's very, very frustrating. And, I'm not going to stop talking about it, because if we stop talking about it, then we allow them to get away with it. And the bottom line is, whether you support Chelsea, Fulham, or you just love football, these people are dictating your enjoyment of football as individuals who are incompetent. And we'd be better off switching VAR off. As I've said before, switch it off, because then you can just go, Anthony Taylor's a crap referee, but it's a human error. But when he gets it wrong and then VAR gets it wrong, it's inexcusable. As for Chelsea, look, good win. Definitely a penalty, by the way. Definitely not a dive, in the sense that you're never going to turn that around. I mean, imagine they don't give a penalty for that. You can't subjectively say that the contact's not enough to go down. It's the same with Bruno against Wigan. If a defender is reckless and stupid enough to dive in and make contact with you, you've got every right to go down. And if VAR wants to say it's not a penalty for diving, well, good luck with that. Because how do you judge whether contact is good enough to go down or not? How do you, as I said in the watch along, I remember playing the game, and if you catch someone stood a glance across your ankle, it bloody hurts. It does hurt. So, but sometimes you can get a full kick on the shin, doesn't hurt at all. So what they're talking about is not enough to go down. It's subjective. The bottom line I look at on a penalty is the defender reckless? Is he out of control? Is he stupid? Yes, yes, and yes. And he makes contact with Sterling, who's got every right to go down. So it is a penalty to me. And I don't think Fulham did enough to score. I think they would have had a better opportunity of winning if they'd got the red card. But in the game that we watched, I felt Chelsea deserved it. And I thought it was a good result. Anyway, get your comments in below. Make sure you smash a like on the video and subscribe. We're back for Newcastle against Man City as well.